This is video 79 of 101. This video is about when shit hits the fan. There are two different kinds of problematic situations that happen in our life. There are immediate problems, and then there are problems that we can think about and get back to in a little bit. For immediate problems, our bodies are already taking care of these kind of things. When our body sense a threat, whether perceived or immediate, adrenaline and other stress hormones are released into our bloodstream. This increases your heart rate, it helps your blood pump faster, it increases your lung capacity, and increases your metabolic rate as well. It essentially just kind of makes us like superhuman beings, and that's why you hear stories about people doing crazy things in situations like this. Like I heard about one time this kid got stuck under a car, and then his mom like literally lifted the car off of the kid. Like that is the kind of stuff that our bodies are able to do when they have these kind of hormones rushing through us. So any kind of immediate situation, your body has you covered. But then what about the situations where it's time where we need to think a little bit more? Something like relationship problems or money problems, or you lose your job, or you need to make a change in your life. These kind of problems, we need to look at them a little bit differently. So when we have these kind of situations in our life, we're going to be stressed in the same way as a real kind of threat, and our body doesn't know the difference. So it's going to release these same adrenaline and stress hormones because our brains are doing the same thing when we have these issues and we're really stressed out about them. So there's a few things we can do to get around these and to come back to the problems and think about them logically and actually get to the solution. The number one thing you need to do is get rid of these hormones that are in your body. Literally just walk outside your door and just run. Just run until you can't run anymore. This is going to help get these hormones out of your body so that you can then come back and think clearly about it. Do whatever kind of exercise you can do and just do it until you're absolutely exhausted, and then just take that moment of exhaustion and hopefully you'll have a moment of clarity that just motivates you in saying, hey, there's a really big issue that I have at hand, but I'm not going to be able to solve it unless I solve it logically, and so I need to come back to this and think rationally about it and just take the emotion out of it. Then when we get back home, we just need to think. We need to look at this problem and think about it from a different perspective. Take ourselves out of the situation. If someone was coming to you and they had this problem, what kind of advice would you give them? Just look at it from another angle. And we really need to be taking the emotion out of it. Like if you're having relationship problems, you may be so attached to that person that it may be unclear what the real solution might be. Take out the emotion of these relationships. Just take out what we think we should be doing and just try to see what the logical solution is. And one thing I know is our bodies or our minds will sometimes try to push out what that solution is because we don't want to accept it yet. But instead of trying to accept a solution as you're also trying to figure out what it is, just try to figure out what that solution would be. Just think about what is the action that's going to solve this problem. Don't have to accept it in your mind, just think about what that action is. And then just totally forget about it. Go and do something really, really fun. Go see a movie, go hang out with some friends, go do something you enjoy. Just go do something fun, and then that action is stuck at the back of your head and it's subconsciously in your mind, and your mind is saying, well, okay, here's this action here, but I'm having fun and I'm enjoying things, so maybe this action isn't going to be the worst thing in the world and maybe can actually bring me back to having happier times later on. Then at some point that action is going to come back to you and it may hit you really hard and you may cry as you're trying to accept it, but that's totally okay. Once those initial accepting emotions pass, it's going to be very clear that this is the action you need to do and that it's very, very possible that you are going to be able to do this action. Once that stage is done, it's going to be very clear what you need to do and the fact that you can do this thing. You'll know that this is the necessary step to get you to where you need to be, and let that motivate you to do it.